Hello and welcome to the first ever vlog on the Natty Mitch channel. Well, first proper vlog. The last one I did was introducing you to my car, and then I did a little bit of camera work on the road test, but that's sort of a given when doing road tests. But other than that, we've never really done a proper vlog before. This is the first one. Basically, this is sort of space filler for me not being able to go and do any spotting or any go on any trips anywhere because of a injured ankle, requiring an operation, me not being able to walk for 2 months, which I'm now a month into. But anyway, let's get started. Basically, the topic of this vlog is going to be about the best things I've seen, best things I've done this year. So that's basically talking about the 3 best cars I've seen and the best events that I've been to. I've only been to 2 events this year, so they're basically what I'm going to talk about. The first bit we're talking about, the best 3 cars I've seen this year. They would be the Bugatti Veyron Supersports WRE that we saw in July, and then the Pagani Huayra, or however you pronounce it, that we saw in August, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in August, in London, and the Hamann Ferrari 458 that we also saw in August. Right, we'll start with the Bugatti. It was part of the supercar drive at Eurotour that stopped in Folkestone on their way down to Dover to go and catch the ferry over to Europe. It's basically the most powerful Veyron there is, being a world record edition. It has 1200 brake horsepower, it has a top speed of 267 miles an hour, 1,106 pounds-foot of torque. You may have seen on Top Gear where they drove it round the VW test track to try and achieve the top speed, where James May very nearly broke the world record for it. Yeah, as I say, it was part of the supercar drive Eurotour. As I said, they were heading over to France, around Europe for I think it was about a week. And we saw on Twitter and Facebook that they were stopping in Folkestone, decided to go and see if we could find it. Eventually found it near Eurotunnel, parked in a car park along with all the other cars going on the tour, so there's 4 Aston Martins in there, including a wide mouth DBS. It was parked next to a 360 Spider and a Maserati Grand Sport, I think it was. No, it might have been a 4200 GT Cabrio. I think, it was part next to some Maserati, and then it had like a Golf, slightly sort of Golf livery, or Golf stickered anyway. No Wormtail GTO and various other Lamborghinis and Ferrari 458 directly opposite. As well as Porsche GT3. Yeah, but it was quite funny. It's £60 a night hotel and it's a £1.67 million car. I suppose if you're on a Euro tour you need to save a bit of money, yeah? Especially that sort of car. It drinks quite a lot. Yeah, that is probably the best car we've seen so far that year. So far in the summer, rather. Completely unexpected to see it until we'd seen on Twitter that they had it. Yeah, I think it's the only one in the UK, something like that. Well, there's like one of 10 worldwide. Definitely was shaping up to be quite a good summer. Started kicking off with the Bugatti. Then we moved on to in August in Huayra, or however you pronounce it, the white one that was in London. Parked one of the hotels in Knightsbridge, Mayfair sort of area. List price of £850,000 with 230 mile, somewhere roughly around 230 mile per hour top speed. 220 brake horsepower, you probably all know. There was a blue one as well that was in London, but we didn't see that. I think that had left by the time we got there. But we saw the white one with pretty much everyone who went into London in August and July saw. I think the day after we saw it, it was in Cannes, which was kind of interesting. We never actually got to see it move, which is quite annoying, so we didn't want to see it start up, but we just saw it parked. We weren't there really long enough to see it move around, because from what I gather it only moved around at night or in sort of early evening, but we didn't see it move at all. It was just parked up with the G55 behind it, or G63 actually, I think it was, for protection. It would have been nice to see it move. Yeah, very cool car. Quite a lot of interest in it. There were many people taking photographs when we were there. We saw it at least 2-3 times, walking around trying to find it. We were the only people there the first time. Then the second and third time there was several people. It was just nice to have people who, like the door staff, hotels are just so nice to you, like they're not really bothered about you taking photos. I think they're probably quite used to it. And then sort of another 500 yards down the road from the Myra was the Command 458, wrapped in a very nice shade of blue with carbon details to it. Quite a nice brown interior. Parked outside the Intercontinental Hotel. We did get to see it move just as we were about to leave. It did probably the strangest YouTube you've ever seen. Very nice, very loud. Very nice car. Don't really know much about it, because no one really has any performance figures, no price really. Probably quite expensive, I would say anywhere up to £1 million car. But very nice, again Arab plated. Baby blue S, roof scoop, wing on the back of it, Command details all over, Command wheels. It's an absolutely stunning car. Definitely got some highlights there. I think some of the other highlights of going to London was seeing 4 Aventadors, which took one total of Aventadors up to like 4, I think it went 4 or 5 actually. I'll put it in the description how many we saw. We definitely saw a lot of Aventadors as is expected in London. But previous to that we'd seen 1, and we not really got the best photographs going the other way down. The A34 with the barriers, we couldn't really get a decent photograph of it. But that was like just after they'd come out, so I wasn't really expecting to see them. Yeah, it was a very good trip to London, saw some quite nice things. Didn't quite get to see one of the cars I'd like to, but that's life. Still actually not seen a Bugatti in, well, I've only ever seen one Bugatti in London, but not ever got a proper look around one like we did with the WRE in Folkestone. We saw one last year when we went. We got to see it for 30 seconds and then disappeared again. We did sort of try and find it, but it just vanished. Although, saying that, getting the look around the WRE is my second Veyron, it's not bad. But yeah, it would be nice to see a few more. One of my friends reckons he's seen over 20 different examples of Veyron, including 4 or 5 special edition models. Of course there's no competition at all. It's always nice to see Veyron, especially with the amount that there are out there. I'm pretty sure they just hide from it or something. But yeah, we did get quite a few nice cars out when we were in London. Quite a few new Porsches, one silver Gallardo with some sort of spec'd up wheels that were running, that went around cruising around London, sort of basically spent the whole afternoon just driving around aimlessly. What else did we see? We saw the baby blue DBS with the yellow interior, the very loud one that we saw in a car park. Quite a few nice things outside Harrods, including an orange Aventador, several Rolls Royces. Way with Harrods. One with the gold Spirit of Ecstasy on the front of it. I saw the Nissan GTR. I think saw an SLS. I saw a gold SLR McLaren 722, very nice, completely gold coloured car, including gold mirrored glass windscreen and side door glass. Very nice car. very shiny. As it would be gold colour. It's sort of gold metallic effect. Very, very nice. Rather unusual to see. Yeah, we weren't expecting to see that. Just seen it parked up by one of the sort of valets at in Carlton Towers. Around Cuddigan Place or area. Let's move on from London and we'll go to the first event I went to this year, which was European Rallycross at Linton Hill in Dover, or near Dover. Quite a nice event. First time I've been to Rallycross and definitely recommended to go to. So get to see some they're basically all hot hatchback type cars. Few sort of like mostly DS3s and C2s and things like that. I think quite a lot of DS3 based cars. A couple of Focuses, 207s, things like that. But all the cars are built to the same spec. I think they're something around 500 horsepower from a 2-litre engine, something along those lines. But they're very fast, very sideways, especially in the hands of Tanner Faust from Top Gear USA, who won that weekend. He's very fast. He certainly knew how to gain like an advantage for getting his lead in quite quick. I think on most of his, apart from one race where I think he very nearly lost in one of the corners, he was pretty much won every race and got into the top final. Yeah, he sort of gained like anything up to a 30-second advantage on most of his races. Yeah, he's very, very quick guy. Very sideways too. He liked to showboat quite a lot. He's very good sideways. Yeah, he's also one of my favourite rally drivers ever, who I got to meet and got his autograph as well, which is Petter Solberg, who was in DS3. Very, very nice guy. Very good out on the track as well. And Liam Doran, who I think if you know Rallycross at all in any way, shape or form, you will know. And Pat Doran as well, out in their DS3s as well. Then there was a couple of crashes, which is inevitable with Rallycross, including Clio, which went 180 onto its roof after trying to drive up the bank on the inside of a corner. Quite a spectacular crash, really. Sort of coming up alongside another car, got squeezed in a bit, decided to sort of drive up the bank to try and get away, which didn't quite work. But when he was sort of going round the corner at about 40-50 mile an hour on a bank that's virtually 90 degrees, so somewhere upwards of 45 to 90 degrees. Ended up on the roof after about 3 or 4 rolls. Luckily the driver got out completely fine, but the car was pretty wrecked. Managed to quite good mechanics that he had, because he managed to get it out for another race, but it's still quite battered from it. But yeah, it was a good thing to go to. Highly recommend going to European Rallycross if you get the opportunity. The second event we went to this year was the BHP show, which is basically a car festival again at Linton Hill. You get some track sessions from the public, you get track demonstrations. I think when we got there, they just started a demonstration with some truck racing guys. They had 3 different racing trucks out. If you'd seen the video on YouTube, then you'll know exactly what I'm on about. There were all sorts of different car club stands. They had drifters. What else did they have? They had Liam Doran out on the track. They had a bike out there as well. I think the bike was the last one out. Yeah, it was a really good day actually. Really, really good day. We had quite good weather for it. There's a few nice things around the car park. Some very nice bits of metal in the paddock. As I say, there's car clubs out there. I don't know if it was a car club, just an overflow car park, but we wandered into one of the fields around the paddock area, and there was Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, 430 Scuderia, several Monaros, HSVs, and DXR8s. There's all sorts of loads of Sunbeams, one that springs to mind. Noble M12 GTO M3, I believe, as well. Some very nice cars out there. Definitely, if you live in Kent area or Essex, you can get to it. It's usually on the May bank holiday. Usually bank holiday one day, the first one in May. Usually on there. I think next year it's on the 5th, so I'm definitely going to again. It's definitely worth a go. It's if you really like really into your cars, it's worth going to. There's loads of trade stands, lots of track things, and there's some classic rally cars out as well on track. So RS200s about the place. Very, very nice. Very well worth going to. The third event we went to this year was Piston Heads South East Gathering, held near Westrum. It's basically at the Grass at the Ring, which is a very nice country pub. Very old style building. I'm not entirely sure on the history of the building, but it's a very nice wooden beam, very dark inside. It's got quite a good atmosphere to it. Very nice place. Large car park so we could hold car meet as part of Piston Head's car membership. Well, membership, you don't have to pay, you just join up for and get a sticker. Yeah, it was a really good meet. I got to help push a Kremlin Porsche part of the you got to help push an old racing Porsche. I think I'll put a video up online at some point. I've got one somewhere on the computer that needs to go up at some point. Very lovely on Porsche. It had been racing up until something like sometime in the 1990s, 1993 I think it was, and then it's been put in storage ever since and not been turned over for 10 years. And the guy who runs Piston Heads, he owns a company called Garage.com. He had persuaded the owner, he was going to meet anyway, from what I gather, to bring his Porsche, his 935, along to the meet. Not road legal, so it had turned up on a low loader anyway. And because it hadn't been turned over, they couldn't get it started on the low loader, so the guy running it grabbed whoever was nearest, helped him push it down to the parking space it's supposed to go into, which me and my friend Toby were near, and we helped. It's quite a nice, very light vehicle because it's mostly made of fiberglass and aluminium. But when we got it to the parking space, put a couple of chocks underneath it, and the guy got in, battery booster on it, a couple of minutes, and he had it started. It took him a couple of attempts to get it started, and it was very smoky when it did go. It's very nice to see an old car like that getting starting up again, getting working. A few of the other things that were at the meet were several Nissan GTRs, lots of Lotuses, quite a few Lotuses, quite a few AC Cobras, Ferrari 430, a 550 I think it was actually, a couple of Porsche Boxster Spyders, Evo 10 from I think it's Kit Customs, or been wrapped by Kit Customs. There's a Nissan GTR with comedian paint. If you've seen my Flickr page, it's now called National Photography rather than National M4. You'll see it on there, Pine Hop next to Exige. There's an Aerodatum V8, a couple of Nobles, several TVRs, because Piston Heads used to be a TVR forum. Yeah, there's quite a few nice cars there. We were parked up next to an Aston V12 Vantage in the Mitchell building, okay, Saxo. Yeah, some very, very nice cars. I think ours had the least amount of power that was there. And we were surrounded by several hundred horsepower, with the V12 Vantage one side of us, V8 Jag the other. Some very nice cars there. Also a couple of kit cars there. There's a blue orange, I think it was an Accent, something like that had been basically little kit car and you put a bike engine in. To whatever spec you want. I think it was 600cc Suzuki engine in. Very nice, very, very nice car. Not sure I particularly buy them, quite small, but probably quite powerful. There's a couple of trucks there as well. There's a couple of Ford F-150s, one that's quite classic style, one that's a slightly newer one that's been done up slightly. Quite a few Mazdra MX-5s because they're quite a favourite on Piston Heads. I think ours is probably Pikey's car. It's a very nice Mini Cooper that was there, lovingly restored by the owner by the looks of it. buy a previous one, but it was very, very good condition for a Mini, especially the classic one. There's also some form of Morris Minor 1000 type shaped car that looked quite beaten up. It was mid-rest day, but it was absolutely coated in stickers. But it looked kind of odd, but quite cool at the same time. You know what I mean, with some sort of things like that. But yeah, I definitely would go again if I could get to it, but I'm not sure next year because of starting a new job and all. But with starting a new job means I can buy a new car, so unfortunately the Saxo will have to go. It's starting to get quite expensive to run. It's a lot more expensive than I thought. It's quite heavy on insurance as well with the reputation of Saxos. Yeah, it also cost me 500 quid to get it through an MOT last time because power steering pump failure and various other bits and pieces that were hanging on. There's a lot wrong with it. It sort of went in like thinking, oh, it'll be fine. Came out with a list of things wrong as long as your arm. Had to go and had to have various bits replaced and bits that were seized, sort of freed up again. Had to go and source a power steering pump for it from a reclamation yard. But yeah, it's sadly gonna have to go. Probably replaced by something like a sort of 07, probably anywhere between 06, 07, 08 shape Ford Fiesta. It's a very nice little car, but unfortunately I can't afford to run it for much longer, which is quite sad because I quite like it, but oh well. It has to be the next. I have to be on to Mitchellville Mark II, unfortunately. Thank you for watching vlog 1. I'd like to thank a couple of people for a few things this year, like my friend Toby, who passed his driving test yesterday, and Luke for being my photography assistant and helping with various videos this year. Also for supplying the music to this video. If you'd like to see any more of his music, check out Daluki YouTube page. I'll put a link in the description. Also in the description will be links to my Facebook page and to my blogspot, as well as I think Twitter as well, and probably Flickr too. Anyway, thanks for watching and feel